I'm literally strapping a piece of wood to my feet and riding it down a mountain right now. Like, it's not that deep. It's just snowboarding. By any means necessary. Everything I'm doing is legendary. If this is what you want to do, we got you. I don't think it like really clicked in my head of doing it for a career until I was on a podium. I do snowboard halfpipe. You have a bowl and you cut it in half. One side to the other side, like airing out and doing tricks. Higher, higher, higher until I got to 22 feet and I was like, oh my God, that actually is really tall. I was getting in this place where there was a lot of mental stuff going into it. It was kind of like a final blowout where there was like a pretty big incident that like, this is not okay. This is affecting my snowboarding now. My coach should never be the reason my days are getting ruined. Like, you're scared of that? No, you're not. Just like, go do it. It's fine. I didn't even like realize that was like happening. You don't have to suffer to achieve your goals. Hello, Lemon Drops. Welcome back to another episode. I'm so excited. You guys know how much I love to interview athletes and specifically Olympians. They are just a different breed of human. The type of discipline and heart that these professional athletes have to have is so special, and it's something that I love just hearing about and learning. And on today's episode, we have Maddie Mastro on. She is an Olympic snowboarder, X Games medalist, and one of the most influential women in halfpipe snowboarding today. Maddie made her Olympic debut at just 17 years old and quickly became known for her fearless style and technical progression, including becoming the first woman to land a double crippler in competition. She's been open about navigating major issues, intense pressures, and the mental side of committing big tricks. In this conversation, Maddie shares how her mindset around success has changed, the mantra that's guided her through it all, her experience with therapy and sports psychology, and how leaving a toxic coaching relationship completely transformed her relationship with snowboarding and with herself. This conversation is so great and just in time for the Winter Olympics, where you can see Maddie competing this week. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Maddie, welcome to The Squeeze. Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I'm so excited. I love having athletes on the podcast because I just love hearing your guys' mentality. And I always feel like every time we have one on, there's just so much wisdom and words.
Oh gosh, I don't know if I've got wisdom.
No, you do. You do. So we start each episode off with this jar. It's a little game called Citrus Got Real. If you want to pull one of those little like pieces of paper out of there and read it.
With the little one over here. Okay. What is your guilty pleasure TV show?
Ooh.
Guilty pleasure? The Summer I Turned Pretty, I feel like, was my guilty pleasure TV show this last... It wasn't even summer, I feel like, but I guess it was over the summer.
Yeah, we're meant to be friends. Yeah. I'm so obsessed with that show.
So obsessed.
And now I'm just like patiently. I don't know if I'm like happy or sad that we're getting like a movie.
It
like
could be either really good or just like not the same as the show, you know? Go either way there.
Yeah. Like I feel like it might leave me wanting more. Like I feel content where the show left off.
Same.
The first couple episodes took me a minute and then I've like rewatched it many times now.
Yeah, I've been thinking of doing a rewatch recently. I'm like, I feel like I need to rewatch and get some Conrad in my life.
Yeah. Well, I restarted season 1 not that long ago after season 3. I like went back and watched and I forgot like how like where the characters all started. Like obviously I know, but little like sayings or like,
all of it, the little details.
Yeah. And I feel like it helped me because so much time went by before season 3 from season 2. Like I feel like it made me like realized why like certain characters
piece it all together more. Yeah, connect with it. Yeah.
Did certain things.
So good.
Well, let's dive in. We were just talking, you're from Southern California. Mm-hmm. How did snowboarding start?
Well, I grew up actually in a small town outside of LA called Wrightwood.
Okay.
There's a small mountain called Mountain High that's about 5 minutes down the road from there.
Okay.
And that was like our backyard. So it was just what you kind of did on the weekends in the winter.
Yeah.
Or like in the free time that we had.
it was just a part of our family in a way of being outside, of being outdoors. And it just so happened that happened to be on a mountain in my backyard. So I got pretty lucky with that.
It's so funny because I feel like when you're from California, like you either are completely like engulfed in like mountain snowboarding, snow activities or not at all. Like I never ever did any form of snow activity. Like I just never, I mean, being from here, it's not a far drive, but it's not a close drive.
Yeah. No, there's definitely like a cult following in the sense of like everyone's got like driving around in Southern California with their like mammoth bumper stickers and like you just know there's like this group of people that are so for snowboarding and skiing. Yeah. And then the other half that are like grew up here and never ever like went skiing or snowboarding in their life. It's one or the other for sure.
So it was just like fun for you growing up. When did it like shift that you were actually like work and sport?
I don't think it like really clicked in my head until I was like on a podium like of on like a professional contest of like doing it for like a career. So that was probably not till I was like, which sounds funny, but like 15 or 16. That's when it like kind of clicked that like this could be my career, or more so like this is my career that I'm living in right now. It definitely took some time because I felt like I got kind of lucky with how I like grew up of like I had a very normal life of like I went to high school, I like continued playing soccer and doing other things. So it wasn't until I was like fully thrown in or like in it that it clicked that this was like this could be my career if I wanted it to be.
Yeah. So what does life look like after you're like, okay, maybe I do like really start to pursue this, take it more seriously? Do like what are next steps in that?
Yeah. That's a good question. I was a lot of like I think like sacrifice is a word. But like of no longer playing other sports, not going to public or like in-person high school anymore, like going homeschooled, and then like traveling most of the year, doing school or like around the clock, to try to get as much done as you can so you can snowboard whenever you want, and kind of going like full 100% all into that when you're 15, 16, 17, like it looks a lot like that. And then when you're older, it's pretty similar of like you're traveling a lot, you're gone most of the year, you don't have much time at home with family or friends, but it's definitely worth it. I say these things are like sacrifices, but like it's kind of weird to label them as sacrifices because what I get in return is like so awesome.
Yeah, no, for sure. Were your parents like game for you to pursue it, or what was their like take on it?
They definitely were full supportive of like, if this is what you want to do, we got you. But at the end of the day, we like really don't care what you do as long as you're happy with your decision of that. So they were really supportive in that sense. But they weren't like, they didn't have any hesitations or anything like that. Yeah. Which was super nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. Can you explain to our listeners a little bit about what you do and specifically the half pipe, like what it is? Because I thought I don't really know.
That's okay. So I do snowboard half pipe. That's what I compete in, and we call it like a discipline. And snowboard half pipe is literally if you take a bowl, I guess. You have a bowl and you cut it in half. That's what a half pipe looks like. Just like a U-shaped, large mounds of snow. It's 22 feet tall. Wow. So it's really tall. And we go from one side to the other side, like airing out and doing tricks. And then we get, in a competition, we get like scored and graded on those runs against everyone. Yeah. And so I do that competitively year round. That's probably like, I don't know if that was a confusing answer or if that made any sense.
No, it did.
Okay.
No, it did. Because I mean, obviously, like I've seen your videos and I've seen you compete, but it's just so crazy that tall. Like it's crazy.
Tall. Yeah. They did like, I recently did like some type of media and they like brought out a huge like long stick and they're like having me raise it up, and they're like higher, 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 until I got to 22 feet. And I was like, oh my God, that actually is really tall. Like, you don't really quite grasp it from like TV at all, of like, it's actually really tall.
Yeah. How did you decide that that was what you wanted to like specialize
I have
in?
I don't really know. I grew up, and like, so half pipes, you have to have a lot of snow to build.
Okay.
So like in Southern California, it can be quite hard to build those because we don't have like large quantities of snow a lot. So I didn't like grow up at my small little mountain riding half pipe. They had a half pipe at Mammoth, which was like a 6-hour drive away.
Okay.
And I grew up going to that on like the weekends and like for holidays. So I feel like it was kind of like one of those things of like, you want what you can't have.
Yeah.
And like, it was this like special thing that I wanted to do because I didn't have it. But it doesn't really I don't really know why I chose it. But I love riding half pipe, and I love that I did choose it. And I'm very happy that I did. But I don't know, like when I was 15, 14, 13, what really was like the deciding factor. It was just like, you want what you can't have kind of vibe.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Lately, my life has felt like a constant juggling act between work, social plans, travel, trying to move my body, and still show up for myself. There are so many days where my own health ends up taking a back seat. I'll look up and realize I've been running around all day answering emails, hopping from one thing to the next, and haven't actually fueled myself in the way that feels good. And that's exactly where Premier Protein comes in for me. On those busy days when I need something quick, convenient, and actually satisfying, Premier Protein has become my go-to. It's the kind of thing that I can grab without slowing down, but still feel good after choosing. Whether I'm heading out the door, need an afternoon boost, or just want something easy that fits into my routine, it makes fueling myself feel simple instead of stressful. And honestly, it tastes amazing. I always keep the vanilla on hand. It's my favorite flavor, and it makes it so easy to reach for something that I actually enjoy and look forward to having. What I also really appreciate is that Premier Protein fits into real life. It's not just for intense gym sessions or hardcore workout days. It's for everything you need fuel for. With 30 grams of protein and tons of delicious flavors, Premier Protein isn't just for those who get after fitness. It's for those who get after life. It's for squeezing in a walk, showing up to a meeting feeling ready, saying yes to plans with friends, winning game night, or even mastering a new recipe for a dinner party. That's why it feels like such an easy, smart choice. Find your favorite flavor at premierprotein.com. That's PremierProtein.com or at Amazon, Walmart, or other major retailers.
This is the time of year I really notice when I'm not taking great care of myself. Between busy days, travel, long recording sessions, it's easy to feel run down if I'm not being intentional about the little things that support my overall wellness. That's why Wetherspoon has become part of my routine, especially their Manuka honey drops. If you're not familiar, Manuka honey is a unique type of honey that's sourced exclusively from New Zealand and contains naturally occurring wellness benefits you won't find in regular honey. One of the biggest reasons I love these drops is the taste. They don't have the harsh medicinal cough drop flavor. They're light, sweet, smooth, and actually pleasant to take, which makes such a difference when you're reaching for something throughout the day. I really like knowing I'm soothing my throat with ingredients I recognize and feel good about. They're handmade with functional ingredients like bee propolis and echinacea, which are commonly used to help support immune wellness, and they come in honey-based flavors like ginger and lemon. I always gravitate toward lemon, obviously. It's comforting and easy to reach for. They're also USDA organic, non-GMO, and made without artificial colors, flavors, or sweeteners, which is something that I really value. Wetherspoon is also the #1 selling Manuka honey brand in the US and one of the only organic Manuka honeys available. So they're always non-GMO, free of antibiotics and glyphosates, which makes them an easy everyday choice for me. Get your own taste of New Zealand sunshine today by visiting Wetherspoon.com and use code SQUEEZE20 at checkout for 20% off your order. That's Wetherspoon.com and use code SQUEEZE20 for 20% off your order at Wetherspoon Manuka Honey. When something feels off in your body, a lot of the times it traces back to your gut. Digestion, energy, mood, focus, so many parts of how we feel day to day are connected there.
And with stress, processed foods, and just everyday life, your gut is constantly being asked to do a lot. If you're not properly supported, you really notice it. That's why Just Thrive Probiotic has become something we trust. One thing that surprised me when I started learning more about probiotics is that many of them don't actually make it to your gut alive. So even if you're taking one, it may be doing nothing. Just Thrive is different. It's clinically proven to arrive 100% alive in your gut, which means it can actually work the way it's supposed to and deliver real measurable results. What really sets Just Thrive apart is how it supports your gut environment. It helps create an antioxidant-producing environment right in your gut, forming beneficial compounds where your body needs them most. That kind of support can help with digestion, immune health, steady energy, focus, and overall balance over time. For a decade, Just Thrive has helped thousands of people take a proactive, science-backed approach to their health, from their award-winning probiotic to their full line of gut, immune, and brain health supplements. Everything they create is designed to support your health from the inside out. So here's our challenge. Try Just Thrive Probiotic for 90 days risk-free. Visit justthrivehealth.com and save 20% with promo code SQUEEZE. See the difference yourself or get a full product refund, no questions asked. Take the 90-day Just Thrive Probiotic Challenge today at justthrivehealth.com/squeeze. Be the best you with Just Thrive.
On the note of it being so tall, you've talked about how you say to yourself, it's not that serious. It's just snowboarding. Where did that come from?
It started, I don't know when it started, maybe a year or so ago, 2 years ago. I think it started because I was getting in this place where there was a lot of mental stuff going into it, and it was becoming this like really serious thing, when snowboarding for me is like genuinely not that serious, and sometimes like life is not that serious, like it's not that deep. I feel like it kind of stemmed from that thing of like, it's not that deep. Like I'm literally strapping a piece of wood to my feet and riding it down a mountain right now. Like, it's not that serious. It's not that deep. I'm gonna be happy afterwards. I have like a good life otherwise, so like it's not that serious. And it just kind of helped calm me down in the moment when it feels like there's these like huge things in front of me that are like life or death, when they're really not. It's like, it's just snowboarding.
What does training look like for you?
Training is,
you're like, where do I start?
I'm like, what kind of training?
Because where do you spend most of your time? Because you probably have to be in snow to train.
So it's a lot of traveling.
Okay.
We travel a lot to find the snow. And then, so that's a good question. I'm like, where do I start? We travel from like location to location, finding snow, finding a good half pipe to train and compete in. So, but our days when we're actually training are very much like consistent with each other, of like, we go up to the mountain 8 or 9 o'clock and we ride and we take laps through the half pipe until, I don't know, anywhere from 1 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, come home, go to the gym, PT, dinner, bed. And so like that looks the same everywhere we go, but we travel pretty consistently throughout the year to do that.
This is like such a random question, but I'm like literally thinking like logistically, like you can't just practice, like you have to physically, correct me if I'm wrong, you have to physically be doing the half pipe to like practice a trick that you're doing.
So it's a lot of like repetition.
That's crazy.
Of like all the things that like you see us doing in a contest. We've done it a lot. In training somewhere.
Is it scary, like trying a new trick?
For sure. I don't think, none of us are immune to like being scared. Maybe there's probably some like action sports athletes that are immune to fear. But I am not one of those people. It's definitely scary.
How do you get yourself to fully commit to doing your tricks? Because I'm sure if you like even hesitate just slightly, there's like such like a small margin.
It's a lot of self-talk, like of like mentally self-talking, and like making sure that like internal narrative is like the right one for the situation of like trying these really scary tricks. So a lot of self-talk happens. And then like I feel like there's always that like one that haunts you where you like didn't really commit and it like didn't go well because you didn't commit. So like I'm like, I don't want to do that again. So I'm going to commit for now on and do it right. But a lot of like internal dialogue for me is what helps me get that going.
It's so cool. I literally could never. I would be like so scared.
That's fair.
I also don't like height. Like you enjoy heights.
Yeah, it doesn't really. They don't really go together.
Yeah,
like you have to kind of not be scared of heights.
No, it's so cool. But you've talked about how people often see the medals and the cool tricks, but not really the pressures that come from competing in it. What are those pressures, and how have you like learned to manage those over the years?
Yeah, there's like. Just like on a human level of like your own pressures that I feel like every human experiences of like wanting to be successful, wanting to like achieve their goals.
Yeah.
And like those like very somewhat basic pressures of like, I feel like everyone can relate to those ones. I feel like everyone can relate to all of these pressures. Maybe, hopefully, we'll see. To the like exterior pressures of like, my like maybe there's like I feel like a fan base that I have that I like want to like I don't want to disappoint them, or like I have sponsors that are like investing in me and my performance, and if I don't perform like I feel like I'm letting them down. So there's all those external pressures that like are there. Managing them is hard. I don't know if I've like, it's something I like consistently work on. I don't know if I've cracked the code. I have sports psych and therapy to help me crack that code, but they're like ever evolving and changing. So we're still working on it.
I love that. When did therapy start for you?
I started, therapy about 2 years ago.
Okay.
Give or take. I've talked to a sports psych for about a year leading up to that, consistently. And then, well, now I do sports psych and therapy together.
What's the differences for those?
The difference is a sports psych is a little more like in tuned with like the sport and the like tricks and like the actual like fear of like the trick of like or what's going on, like the mental roadblocks like in my like day-to-day on hill training. And then my therapist, we tend to focus more on like my mental health, where like sports psych also mental health is very much involved in there, but then therapy is just like an extra help of having another layer of like mental health support.
That's really cool to have someone that, because we talk about how different like facets of mental health, it's good to have someone that specializes in whatever it is. But I think that's so cool, like for the sports psych of it all, having someone that can actually relate and like understand what you're thinking
helps so much, because it's nice to have someone that like gets it in the sense of like what I'm doing every day with my sport. And so it's good. It like pairs really well with having a therapist as well.
Do you feel like your outlook on the sport has changed since therapy and since doing this?
Good question. Has it changed? I don't know if my outlook has changed, or yes.
Even just like how you approach it or how you view it like day to day.
Yeah, I call it, it definitely has changed my entire way that I like go about my day and my sport. I'm like, why do I have to? It's changed completely.
I know. I feel like sometimes if you don't actually like think about it. Like it's like little increments at a time.
Yeah.
That your mindset is shifting, and then you're like, wait, actually it completely has.
Yeah.
Like, until you like take that moment and really
like, yeah, everything actually is different from like 3
it
years ago.
100% different. Over the years, how has your view of success changed maybe from when you were younger to now?
I think, I figured out that's a great question. I feel like when you're younger, success for me was like completely different and I didn't quite grasp it.
Yeah.
Or like you don't really like know what success is for you at all.
Yeah.
And it's ever changing for me. And it becomes like a lot bigger and like borderline scarier when you're an adult, I feel like. Because when you're a kid, you don't like know what success is to some extent. And so my version of success is like ever changing of like what's going to make me happy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think like what my version of success would be is like what is going to make me go home happy at the end of the day now. So it's like kind of like is similar to when you're a kid, but it has a lot. It's a lot bigger. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I'd love to hear about this if you're comfortable with sharing this next little bit. But a couple of years back, you shaved your head.
Yeah, this is an easy one. I was like, oh gosh, what are we?
You're like, what are you?
What skeleton are we dragging out? But yeah, shave my head's easy. Yeah.
What you've talked about how the reason behind that was because you tied a lot of your identity to your hair. Was there something deeper to it, or what was going on?
There was a lot of people like when I shaved my head were like, I think they were like messaging my mom like, is she okay? Or like people were like asking me like if I'm okay mentally.
Yeah.
If I was like having some type of breakdown, which I was genuinely not having a breakdown. I had thought about shaving my head for a long time, for like 4 or 5 years. And I had always like put it off because I did really put a lot of my like value and image and like my brand into my like, I had really long blonde hair.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to see what it was like to like not have that.
Yeah.
I like struggled with acne for a long time too. And I always like pushed it off because it was like, I'll shave my head when I like have clear skin, or I'll shave my head when I'm like feeling confident in my body and all these different things. And I was like, one day I like woke up and I was like, that's silly. Like I could have acne when I'm 45.
Yeah.
Or like I could, hopefully not the case, but I could never be comfortable in my body ever. And so then I'll never get to do this thing that I've wanted to do for so long.
Yeah.
Because of these like really silly things. And so I just shaved it off. And I highly recommend shaving your head. Everyone should shave their head. It's like, it sounds very extreme, but it's so, so good and so nice.
Yeah. It's just like, I feel like it must feel like so liberating after for some, like, why is that? Like, I'm sitting here thinking like I could literally never shave my head.
Which is fair. And I like thought the same thing a lot of times of like, no, I don't think I could ever shave my head, because I think it is like a really scary thing.
Yeah.
But it almost became like my fears of like what would happen when I shaved my head is like I would feel like less feminine, or I was like a little worried about becoming misgendered or like being presenting more masculine, and like had like some negative thoughts about that just in like a fear side. But then once I did shave my head, it was really actually nice to like just like embrace it of like, and I felt like way more comfortable and confident in like my skin and myself of like who I was as a person. And then it was like, okay, if you're not feeling like extra feminine today, like you get to like do your makeup or like put on some fun jewelry or like do something that like helps there. So there are like really, like I was scared to shave my head. I was like, and I thought that when I shaved my head that I was like for sure gonna like go to bed crying and like be like, what did I do? Like, why did I do this? And I didn't cry once over like having a shaved head. Yeah. I've cried harder at like bad haircuts with like actual hair. And I didn't cry over having a shaved head at all.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, I was gonna say, did it shift the way you really saw yourself both as a person and an athlete?
Yes. I think it forced me to like be confident in my like self, like as a person.
Yeah.
It like forced me to like just be myself and be confident in that and not like have anything to like fall back on of just like everything's been quite literally shaved off. Like there's nothing to like hide behind. There's no like hair to hide behind or anything. So like I just had to be like confident and comfortable in my person and being. Yeah. And I feel like it really helped me do that.
Yeah.
It is officially the month of love, and let's be honest, the one who gets the most unconditional love from me is my dogs. Truly, no judgment, always excited to see me, and somehow still obsessed with me even on my worst days. And because they give us so much, I really believe that the least we can do is make sure that they're eating food that's actually good for them. That's why I love Ollie, because it's real fresh food that dogs genuinely get excited about at mealtime. Ollie uses human-grade recipes that are backed by veterinary nutritionists and crafted with culinary experts. Even picky eaters tend to get noticeably more excited at mealtime, which says everything. Remy has always loved food, so when we switched to Ollie, she was so excited to actually get some real food instead of kibble. And Lily has definitely been our picky eater, but when we switched to Ollie, she is literally jumping off the couch, so excited to eat. And it takes such a level of stress off of me trying to trick her into eating her food. Ollie creates tailored meal plans based on your dog's specific needs, their size, age, breed, activity level. So they're getting exactly what works for them. They even include a scoop for serving and a storage pup tainer so your fridge or freezer doesn't smell like dog food, which I personally love. Celebrate your number one Valentine, your greatest love, your dog. Head to ollie.com/squeeze, tell them all about your dog, and use code SQUEEZE to get 60% off your first welcome kit when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a happiness guarantee on the first box, so if you're not completely satisfied, you'll get your money back. That's OLLIE.com/SQUEEZE and enter code SQUEEZE to get 60% off your first box. When it's time to make dinner and you open the fridge and it's just question marks, ButcherBox is a lifesaver. It makes it easy to keep high quality protein on hand without extra grocery store chaos, and it's been huge for nights when I want something simple but still want to feel good about what I'm eating. ButcherBox delivers over 100 premium protein options straight to your door. Things like 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, crate-free pork, and wild-caught seafood. For over a decade, ButcherBox has led the industry with meat and seafood that's antibiotic-free, hormone-free, and independently verified. It's clean, trustworthy protein you want to be eating, especially at the start of the new year. I also love that it's flexible. You can customize your box around your routine and your goals, whether you're meal prepping, feeding a family, or just trying to make weeknights easier. And every box ships free always. Plus, you get access to recipes, tips, and member-only deals that make cooking feel less stressful. As an exclusive offer, new listeners can get their choice between organic ground beef, chicken breast, or ground turkey in every box for a year. Plus $20 off when you go to butcherbox.com/squeeze. That's right, your choice of organic ground beef, chicken breast, or ground turkey in every box for an entire year. Plus $20 off your first box and free shipping always. That's butcherbox.com/squeeze. Don't forget to use our link so they know we sent you.
Around that time, you've talked a little bit about it on social media about the toxic coaching relationship that you were in. What made you finally realize that something not good was going on?
I actually didn't really, well, there was like different layers and stages of like a realization of like it wasn't good. When I like really realized it wasn't good was until like I had left the relationship pretty much like completely. And then like some time afterwards when I like started to like unpack it and like it was still like lingering and like really started to like unpack it. That's when I started therapy. It's around that time. That's when I like realized it wasn't good. It was very, very bad. So it took some time, and because I didn't fully grasp like what was happening when I was in it at all by any means.
What finally gave you the strength to remove yourself from that? Because I think that's something that, even though it sounds so like niche, to like being an Olympic athlete with a trainer, like I feel like that relationship goes in, you know, in intimate ones and family ones and work, like it just is kind of a universal thing. How did you get the strength to do that? Because I imagine there's so much also pressure. Like I think the normal person, myself included, doesn't realize how much pressure. I feel like we kind of see it like in tennis when we watch tennis and like they always pan to the coaches. I'm like, well, what is he like coaching him? Like there's so much depth to a coach in a sport, even if the athlete is an Olympian, they're like at the top of their sport. There's so much pressure there. But how did you like get the strength to separate that?
Well, it was kind of like a final blowout where there was like a pretty big incident that like I was like, no, like this is not okay. This is affecting my snowboarding now. Like this is you're ruining my day.
Yeah.
And I don't want my days to be. You shouldn't be. My coach should never be the reason my days are getting ruined, or like they should never be a reason like I go up to training and I don't get what I want done is because like a coach is like doing something unprofessional and is not being a coach. And so that was kind of where I drew. That was like the final day where I was like, no, like this is now affecting what I want and my snowboarding, which is why we're here, which sounds like kind of selfish, but it was like, I'm here to snowboard. I'm here to learn stuff. I'm here to get better.
Yeah.
You're my coach. You're supposed to help me do that.
Yeah.
And you're not helping me do that right now. So this is not going to work.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize like the gravity of like why it wasn't working until I had like left the situation, and I like looked back on the relationship and I was like, whoa, that was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's like what it takes sometimes though, is like you just know in your gut that something needs to change and you don't realize how toxic a relationship is or a work environment or whatever it may be until you're like completely out of it. Because that was me. I'm a nurse and I worked as a COVID nurse, and I didn't realize the extent of my PTSD that I was diagnosed with and all of these symptoms until I like actually removed myself from the environment.
Yeah.
And then I was like, whoa, like I am like actually not okay at all.
Or it's like, when you like go into like a normal environment or like a contrasting environment, or it doesn't even need to be contrasting, just like you leave that environment and you're just in normal life, and then you look back and you're like, wow, that was really not okay or right. And so I totally relate to that bit for sure.
Yeah. Do you feel like your love for the sport was kind of dying?
Oh, fully.
With when you were in that environment?
I think my like, I like say it of like, I think my like love for the sport was dying. And then like also I think I just really didn't like myself as like a person, as a human in that relationship. I just was like molding and conforming and being what I thought this person wanted me to be.
Yeah.
And so I think it was like hard to like do something that you love when you like don't like the person you are.
Yeah.
And you also don't like the sport you're doing or the people you're doing it with. But you don't even like, I didn't even like realize that was like happening.
Yeah.
Because I say like my desire to like achieve my goals was so huge that I was like, I will do anything to get there. And it was like, if I'm going to suffer for 5 years in this like toxic coaching relationship, then if that's what it takes, that's like what it takes then, I guess, to like achieve my goals.
Yeah.
Which like, you don't have to suffer to achieve your goals.
I love that. That needs to be heard loud and clear. Is obviously have to work hard, but if it's not a good environment and it's not healthy and you are suffering, like that's not.
Yeah, the work is so much harder then. You don't have to make the work harder than it needs to be.
Yeah. I'm sure now, like looking back on it, like I feel like you seem like you have like a breath of fresh air now. Like
definitely. There was like, it came in like waves of like different like working through all the like
Yeah.
trauma that came with it. But even like when you're working through the like trauma and like then when you get past it, I feel like the like underlying narrative is like, I'm so happy I'm not there anymore.
Yeah.
Or like, I'm so happy for this growth. And I feel like that is like a version of like breathing fresh air.
Yeah. I love that. The sport seems very mentally taxing, and the training and everything, the travel. What does your support system look like?
So I travel on like Team USA.
Okay.
So I have all my teammates, and then on like my like for like more of like my, you have your teammates, but then I have like a PT that I travel with. Her name's T2.
Mm-hmm.
She's someone that I would like very highly put in like the top tier of support. She's like one of my favorite people on this earth, who's a huge part of my snowboarding. My boyfriend also snowboards and competes and does the same.
Yeah.
The whole everything exactly the same. So he's a huge part of my support system. And then I travel with my dog everywhere, which is super fun. So she's part of my support system. And then my new coaches are a huge part of my support system as well.
I love that. We are all about dogs being a part of our support systems here, because it's very true.
Yeah.
That's really cool that your boyfriend does the same thing.
Yeah.
So I'm sure like there's a lot of, because a lot of the time, like when I was in the hospital, like my husband couldn't really like, he could empathize with me, but he could not like,
he doesn't get
relate
it.
at all.
Yeah.
So that must be nice.
No, it's super nice. And I think like in snowboarding, or like everyone's like, or in any space, a lot of people are like, no, I want someone that does like something completely different or has like absolutely no clue about our world. But after like having a boyfriend who is in my world and gets my world, it makes my life like, I couldn't do it any other way.
Yeah. Because I feel like there's like a level of understanding of like, obviously what you do is so time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a level of like, no, you have to keep up with this crazy schedule in order to excel.
No, that's like the nice bit of like, we both have like this understanding of like where snowboarding like stands in our life and how you have to like prioritize that and like the things that like you have to sacrifice. And it's not like any type of like, it's not because I don't love you, but it's like because snowboarding, this is my job. This is what I love to do. Yeah. And so we're okay with like having time apart and like traveling a lot. And so he gets it. It makes like all that stuff a lot easier.
Yeah. How do you keep your love for the sport alive and not like feel burnt out? Because I'm sure at some point, I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't know if there's like a level of like monotony that comes with it. It's like, I'm doing this again, like same routine. How do you like keep that spark alive?
That's something that that's a good question. How do I keep that spark alive? It's something that I've like struggled with.
Yeah.
And I have gotten like, we call it like burnout.
Yeah.
I have gotten burnt out before. And it's something I struggle doing. I have a really hard time. I'm like that type of person where I say I have like 2 gears. It's like stop, sit, lay on the couch, do absolutely nothing, or like go, 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 go. So like when I say I'm going to do something, like we're going, like we're doing it.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me with snowboarding to like slow down and not like overdo it and do too much.
Yeah.
So it's something I've been working on. Taking breaks is really hard. I think the people in my life are like getting better at forcing me to take a break.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really good at like taking a break. But taking a break, having time off, going home, more is not always better. It's a learning process for me.
Yeah.
But those are some of the things I'm trying to do to help with with burnout in general.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very thankful for my husband because I'm like the same. Like when I commit to something, I'm like 1,000% in. Like I will be like working until like I would be on my laptop like working or doing things like all day. And my husband's like, it's 9:30 p.m. Like you need
to take
close it down. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch a show. We're gonna watch a movie, and you're gonna turn your brain off. Like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, turning the brain off. That's like it's impossible to do when you're like on that 1,000 commit program of like this is what we're doing.
Yeah. What does rest look like for you?
Rest. Good question. I think rest is hard. Rest, I feel like as an athlete is like a hard thing.
Yeah.
In general. So like rest is hard. That's a good question. To me, rest would be like not doing like anything.
Yeah.
Like rotting on the couch.
Yeah.
Like taking a day off and like completely taking the day off of like, don't go to the gym, don't like go exercise, don't do cardio, like just like take the day off and do like rot on the couch or do things that are completely different from your sport in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's hard to do that. But that would be what I would call rest.
Yeah. What are some of your biggest mental health tools, self-care tools that you love?
Therapy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like should be like a spokesperson for therapy because like someone's like telling me their problems. I'm like, have you thought about therapy? Like therapy's changed my life.
Yeah.
So therapy is a huge one. I think there's like, can be maybe even like as an athlete, I feel like in snowboarding in particular, not a lot of people like go to therapy, which is fascinating to me after I've gone to therapy now.
Yeah.
Because I think everyone can benefit from it. So therapy is a big one. What was the question again?
Just like self-care.
Okay. Oh, self-care. That's
things
right.
you do.
Yeah, therapy. Taking like a good shower. Like nothing beats that of like taking a good shower, putting on like a clean, comfy outfit.
Yeah.
Watching your favorite show, like doing something where you can like turn your brain off and it's not overwhelming in your head anymore and you can just like relax.
Yeah.
And sleeping is
Yeah.
another one.
Yeah. I love sleep.
I love sleep.
Why do you think a lot of people in the snowboarding sport don't do therapy?
I don't I think there's like I think in snowboarding there's like this mentality of like kind of like tough it out.
Yeah.
Of like it's all good. It'll buff, like we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like you're scared of that? No, you're not. Just like go do it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Or like it like kind of like tough it out mentality.
Yeah.
Or like kind of culture of like being tough and like so I think that's why.
Yeah.
It's also like I don't think there's a large conversation or like dialogue around like mental health and therapy and like different forms of like how to help your mental health. So I think there's just like not enough conversation around it as well.
Yeah. How did you get into it? Did you do the sports psychology first?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did sports psych first. And she was helping me through my like trauma with my coach.
Yeah.
And I think there were like kind of going on like almost a year of like working through this trauma of like me sitting down in sports psych sessions and like crying about it and like figuring out what the heck was going on, where like one day she looked at me and she's like, I think you need more help and that I can't provide for you in this circumstance.
Yeah.
So I think you should look into getting a therapist.
Oh, wow.
Or like I'll help you look into getting a therapist. So she was actually, my sports psych was the one who was like kind of pushed me towards that and encouraged me, because she was like, I can't provide the care you are needing for this situation.
Yeah.
And I'm super grateful that she was like able to do that as like a professional, to be able to like be like, hey, you need more help than I can provide.
That's awesome. Were you apprehensive to going into therapy or?
No, I was instantly like, okay.
Yeah, you're like I'll take whatever.
I need it. Yeah, like I need help. I need I need like some type of extra support. Because this is really affecting me.
Yeah. On the note of what you were saying of toughness, I agree. There's definitely like I see it in my friend. I have a lot of friends that are Olympic athletes in whatever regard, but and friends with a lot of professional athletes too. And I see it a lot in that, because obviously like you have to be so mentally tough to be at that level. But even just in, me, average, normal life, like there's still such a stigma around like tough it out and what therapy is.
Yeah.
And that's been like the biggest thing I've learned is like, it's actually not a form of weakness. I feel it's really preparing yourself for when shit hits the fan and when, you know, life does get rough, you have those tools and you have someone that you can confide in no matter what. Like obviously, you know, I can confide in my husband and my family, whatever it is, but there's just something about having a person that you can go to and just say something and, you know, they're not going to like judge you, or just, you can say something and they're like, you don't believe that. And I'm like, yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah. They're able to like help you really break down and like figure out what that thought means. And if it's true or not.
Yeah.
No, I feel the same of like having this like toolbox that you can pull from, or like, I think one way that helped me kind of spin it in my head of like, I want to be successful in my snowboarding. I want to like achieve my goals. And I do all these other things. Yeah. Like I go to the gym, I work out 5 days a week. I do sports psych. I travel all over the world and train for hours and hours and hours. I like can't stop thinking about snowboarding. Like, why would I neglect this like other part of it, of like what I think is like the biggest part of like the mental side of it? So why wouldn't I try to like make that better? Yeah. So I can succeed more for snowboarding. And so like that's like kind of how I started out with like sports psych and things like that, and it like kept evolving of like, why wouldn't I like get a bigger, better like toolbox filled with tools? Yeah. And that encompasses like mental health and a therapist and a sports psych, and this like I'm like building this whole team of people that can help support when you need it, or even when you don't need it.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest things I've honestly taken from this podcast. Was we had Lindsay Vaughn on. She was our like second guest years ago now. And that was like one of the biggest takeaways I've had from anyone in life, is she obviously has dealt with a lot of injury. And she was like, why aren't we treating our mental health the same as an injury? Like you do all of these things of PT and you do this and that to help heal. Like, why aren't we doing that for our brains? Like it's literally the same thing.
It's the same thing.
When she said that, I was like, that literally makes complete sense. Why aren't we doing that? Yeah.
Makes complete sense. Yeah, I really like that actually. That makes total sense.
Last question I have for you is, what are you most proud of yourself for?
I'm most proud of myself for, I guess like it sounds like kind of simple, but just like where I'm at today. Mm-hmm. I think I share a fair bit amount on social media, but I don't like share all of it in its entirety, or like I share like tidbits here and there. And so I don't know, like it's hard, but like not everyone has seen like the whole thing of like what goes into it and what goes on. So I'm proud that I'm where I'm at and I've gotten through what I have, and I'm better for it.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Well, great. I'm so excited to watch you. I feel like I'm about to enter this Olympics like with a fresh set of eyes, because I have learned a lot today. Good. About snow and sport and all of the things. But I'm so excited for you. And
Thank you so much.
This was so lovely.
Yeah, this was so much fun. Thank you.